Curiosity often comes along with confidence. And so I ask you for a little confidence and just close your eyes and listen. Now you can open your eyes again. What did you see?
Nature.
Nature. Nice, lovely. What did you see?
A station.
A station? Where was that? Like located or?
No, I was too close at the machines.
Okay, you were in a station with the machines.
Yes.
What did you see?
A train station in the middle of nowhere.
All right, nice. Do you?
I saw a lot of fog.
A lot of fog, smoke and hot smoke. Yes, thank you. So, actually, this is for me like the magic moment of working with sound since I work with sound. Everybody of you heard the same sound, the sound of a locomotive. But in every single of your minds, there is a different picture. Everybody has its own picture, and the sound did trigger a life experience of you. And so what you see is your own picture, and what you see has to do with your own life. And so it's very close, it's much closer than you see a picture which is outside of you, which is never a part of you. So sound generates your inner picture, which is connected with your personality and with your history also. And so this is how I think sound. And so for me the question is not what is the best music style for an application or for a brand. So my question is what picture I want to generate in the listener's mind. So what branding picture, what design picture when I compose a film music, what emotional picture I want to generate with sound. And this is a different approach. So actually basically my work is dancing between design, which I basically live from, teaching and art. And in the design, I founded in 1994 the Corporate Sound AG, actually the first sound branding agency on this planet. So there were before, there was a tradition of jingles, like identity melodies, that was happening, but a whole system, like for all applications, like a corporate design system, which is also not just a logo, which is like color, typography, pictures, aesthetic, and also kind of a systematic with how you move things in. And I did the same with the sound. And so, but the curiosity to come back on our topic began actually when I was asking myself, should I be a film music composer or should I go for corporate sound? And so actually film music composer, I love to compose film music. But there are a lot of others that do that too. So, and corporate sound was like a blank sheet of paper. It was like uncharted territory. So there was a lot of things to invent, so I choose that. It was like my first music instrument. I choose violin because we had a piano at home, so it was boring to learn piano. I know this, so something new. And then really go into sound, and at the moment, at the present time, sound for me is much more than just emotionalizing something. It's for me a mental design. It's a design which goes very deep, like a dream somehow. And the dream, if you're dreaming, it's a multisensual experience. And listening is very close to this. Like, if you listen, you have the own picture, you have even a sensual experience out of this listening. So it's much more than just like emotion. It's a kind of a new form, or an unexpected form of visualization. So visualization for us is only like a photograph or like what we see, but visualization through sound is also a kind of visualization. And so I get into this corporate sounding, looking how can a company be loud at its like vision building workshops. So like a whole company in a conference is having eye folded and going into a dream, having access to creativity in a new form. And in design, it's also like creating ringtones. And we worked with real sounds. So like these kind of sounds. So this is really made by and to really bring sound as a design element into a product. So really to just make them aware that the sound is a major branding element and a major design element. So it was only like the shape and the materiality, and the sound was a disaster before. It was like and so but it's at the telephone, the sound is really does matter. Once, twice, 3 times a year in different universities, teaching, like also saying that creating sound is not too far away from cooking. Like it's a question of what material you work, and if you have really fresh things in the kitchen, like fresh tomatoes, garlic, very good olive oil, actually you can't do wrong, because you just can burn it, but it will be excellent. And in the sound it's the same. If you have an excellent musician with an excellent microphone and things, so you don't need to switch the wheels and filter it too much. So it's like, as you record it, it's very close to what you need in the end. And of course, the art section, this is, beside the design, I think the most active era in curiosity. So this is really a research era where I always go to the borders, always try to find out new things. So like this happened in Basel 2009, just one project to show you.
so.
Entschuldigung, waren Sie nur ein Espresso?
Happy
Hübschi. Ja, du. Siehst gut aus.
So this as an idea how to break up the space. This was a great success, but it was close, kind of at a hair to the total failure. Because we did all the clarifications, all the evaluations from bringing the cables through the streets with electricians, and we went there and yes, we do it like that. At the day we started, everything was ready. We started to bring the cables into the road, and like there were so old pipes under the street, so we could not go further than 30 centimeters, and then it stopped. And so we tried another one. It was the same. So it was not possible to go below the street with the cables. And if you see the cables on the street from Drano to Drano, it's nothing. The whole thing does not work. And it was really the moment which I was like sitting down. I was swindling. I was really sitting down and what am I doing? And so in my desperation, I called the guy from the city, from City Basel, from Tiefbauamt. And then he said, all right, we send the cavalry. And then he sent this big water truck where they have an own system with water which goes behind. So it tears the thing below the things. And so in 1 hour, everything was hidden below the road. And it was perfect working. So curiosity is very close to failure also, because only the brave one can fail. Only the brave one can also win or succeed. So actually it's always a thing of having the courage to go any way through. So this is one of the art projects in my series of Headroom. There were different cities installed. And so the next sentence I show you is kind of obvious, but I find it even then very interesting because it's true. If you want to experience something you've never experienced, you have to do something you've never done before. So this is really hardly connected. So if you're in your daily business, nothing really new is possible. And actually, I always tried to go new ways because what existed already. So for me, it was all right. But I was searching another way. So in 1984, I went down to Paris subway, record some sounds, and compose a music piece, which I show you now.
veuve là de nouveau dans ce putain de métro. Puis regarde-moi un peu la gueule de tous ces jeunes cons. Mais regarde-moi la nana là en face. Ah, cette gueule. Mais c'est flingueur.
Beau comme un camion tout neuf.
Et je vais voir du beau monde.
Arrête.
Excusez-moi.
In 1984, I sent it to some labels. A French label was interested, but then actually when it was the point to really go, they took back. It didn't happen, so it laid down actually until about a year ago, when I get some emails from Finland and from France. Hey, I discovered this a maxi single Subway. Do you have some more copies of that? So this is really, and one guy now is doing a re-release on a compilation of that thing. So sometime after kind of a failure, after a long time, it takes another twist. And this is actually which I work since about 25 years, like an alchemist, like trying to make gold out of what's the name? Lead. Yeah, thank you. And knowing actually that is not possible. So this is kind of a storytelling, like I made a little a trail of what it
Ich ziehe jetzt meinen Traummantel an und wir tauchen ein in die Traumwelt. Ich renne auf sie zu. Geografien des Himmels.
Kind of a radio play, film music, concert, storytelling, something that this does not exist somewhere. And so it's a difficult thing to bring together all the things. And so it always was okay, but not really on the point which it's gone through. And now in summer I will try the next version of it, and you're very welcome to join Träumer, the next Träumer generation, the next experiment on the long road. Maybe sometime I get the formula. And so actually the idea, it's a big vision to have a live show, to have a podcast, spatial installation that is really a dreamer universe. But I have to start from the scratch. And but then actually what I want to do, it's again like the locomotive in the brain. It's like, actually it's an invitation to the audience to make a voyage in uncharted territories of your own fantasy, actually. And so it's really, what I can say is really stay curious. Actually, first, when I wrote that, I wrote be curious. but then I thought, no, stay curious, because you were curious when you were a kid, and maybe you're still curious, maybe you're less curious as before. It's a stay curious, because being curious needs confidence, and being curious up again and just tap away the dust and stand up again and try again and fail again. And so it's a very, very involving thing, and but you have to do if you're curious, and you have to stay curious, because first you never should blame the others. Every failure is a lesson to learn. The failure is to learn, to develop, and so never blame others for your failure, because like the others, they're not more just like a mirror of yourself. They're mirroring you, and so if you blame the others, you blame yourself actually. So it's not blaming, it's learning. It's learning the lesson. And one like kind of a very respected or idol for me in like being curious, being brave, is in the city, in the forest, on the landscape. Maybe you should know that he is totally blind. Totally blind. He does not see anything. He clicks with the mouse like a bat, and having the echo. And he does this in a quality that he can just walk into a room. He never goes into something. And he went for it. And of course he failed. He failed a lot. He had some rides on the bike, and there was a cable smashing him away. He stands up, taps away the dust, and stands on the bike and keeps on running. So actually, curiosity is a lot with like keeping on trying it, never giving up, and stay really curious. So I thank you very much for your attention, and that you're here, so many people in the early morning. And if you're interested in some project, these are some information if you're interested. Thank you very much.